Hello, I wanted to go over how we're going to complete the color and lighting course. This was discussed in the Zoom meeting this last Wednesday, the 25th. This video is pretty much a recap of that discussion and that document that I sent out to you. So, let me go over what we discussed on Wednesday for those of you who couldn't be there or would like to have this as a backup. So, plans for continuing and completing our color and lighting course. I am convinced that we will be able to complete this course. I'm making adjustments to the assignments. I'm recording all of my lectures, so it's going to be delivered a little bit differently, in this case, virtually. Unfortunately, we will not be able to access the campus and the campus computers for the rest of the semester. And we won't be able to, it sounds like, access the campus in the summer. All summer courses are going to be online. So, with that particular situation in place, I believe you can complete this course and all of the objectives we have with a smartphone and some paper, pencils, and yes, get a set of colored pencils, or if you're more of a marker person, a set of colored markers. So, I want to leave you a lot of latitude, particularly when it comes to the final project. We will discuss, rather than my setting it down definitively, we will discuss the submission requirements for the final project in our Zoom meeting this coming Monday. That will be the 30th. So, let me go through this document. I understand that a lot of you are probably having some substantial issues to deal with outside of school at this time. It's a difficult time for everyone. Please feel free to communicate with me by email, which you know how to do, or you can do this, or text. Here is my cell phone, 215-432-7332. If you could do that between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., I'd really appreciate it. No middle of the night texts. But if there's something you'd like to talk about, particularly even if it's just stuff going on in your life, and you need somebody to talk to, please come to me. I would like to hear from you, really. Anyway, let's go on about the course. So, we're going to be using Canvas and Zoom. So there are a couple things that I want to do. I really want you to get onto Zoom because that will enable us not only to get together as a group, but for me to talk to you one-on-one. I'm finding I've been using Zoom a lot in these last 10 days, and I find it very effective, although not perfect, for continuing communication, particularly in this period where we're still dealing with all this social distancing. I find it a real relief, and I really would like to see you. Literally, I'd like to see you. I'm just here with my cat, and my cat is old, and he's sleepy, so he's only slightly entertaining. Anyway, enough about me. So I'm making the assumption that all of you have smartphones. You should let me know if you have limited data or no access to Wi-Fi. So, by the way, I will run a poll, anonymous, on Monday in our Zoom session because people haven't really gotten back to me about specifically about the technology they have. Let me know if you have a computer that has an internet connection. I can provide a recommendation for a computer that can run all the software we use on campus. Side note, that's going to cost between $1,100 and $1,300. But we're using pretty powerful software. I also wanted to let you know that you now have free access for your home computer for all Adobe software. I finally succeeded in downloading it. I have a good internet connection. I downloaded Illustrator, InDesign, Photoshop, and several other programs, and it took me a half hour and it went quite smoothly. So I've sent you that link. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. It's the latest version, 2020, and my understanding is it will be good for the remainder of the semester. Okay, so that's a good thing. You should have access to Autodesk software. There's also a link to download that if you haven't done so. We really won't need Autodesk software that much unless you choose to use AutoCAD and/or Revit. That won't be necessary for this class, but it's up to you. If you haven't done so, please download the Canvas app for your smartphone. This is the big way that we'll stay in contact. Make sure you turn on alerts. I know on an iPhone, it's allow notifications. I get notifications for everything that happens on the Canvas site. It gets a little much, but I'm grateful for it, particularly at this time. You will notice when you log on to Canvas that there is now a menu item on the home screen for Zoom, which you can use to jump right into our class meetings. We will continue to hold class meetings, I'll say this a couple times, at our class time of 2 o'clock on Monday and Wednesday. My anticipation is, because I'll get into it a little bit later, going to be a discussion, is that we will probably only be on for about 45 minutes, not the full 2 hours, although you're welcome to talk with me one-on-one after we go over our discussion in 45 minutes. If you haven't done so already, please download and install Zoom software for your app or the app for your smartphone or tablet. You should be able to sign in with your CCP logon ID and password. This will be our virtual classroom. I will also be sending you invitations to every single class session so that you'll have the meeting and you can open the links. It'll open in your browser. The browser will, on a computer, tell you to download the Zoom software. I recommend downloading the Zoom software because I find that's the most effective way of working. Zoom works okay on an iPad, somewhat okay on an iPhone. I'm just speaking because I'm all Apple. But it's best if you actually have a laptop. I actually have emailed you all of my lecture notes for the remainder of the semester. I tried to edit it down. There's a lot of information when it comes to lighting. And I basically am condensing an almost 300-page book into 23 pages. I've also posted it as a page on our Canvas site if you have any trouble opening the Word or PDF files. This file is very important because it includes all of my notes, and it's something that you will have access to when you take our quiz on lighting, which will happen between May 6th and May 8th. Okay. I'm going to post videos of all the lectures. Note that I posted the essential information that you need to know. I've already done that. So it's 2 postings, a 30-minute and a 20-minute piece. So if your time is limited, your bandwidth is limited, whatever, those are the 2 that you really should see. I will also continue to upload the PowerPoints to our Canvas site. So I already mentioned this, but I'm going to keep going. I will hold to our class meeting times of Monday and Wednesday from 2 to 4 p.m. starting March 30th. That's officially when the college starts up again. So I think that most of you did really well this last week. Those of you who did arrive, and I was glad so many of you did check in via Zoom. I'd love for you to turn on video, but I won't require it. Remember, if you have a noisy background, you may want to turn the mute button on so we don't all hear all the stuff that's going on. It just makes life easier. If it gets to be, it can be really tricky to figure out this, I do have the opportunity or possibility of muting you. I'd rather not do that, but it is one of the things that I can do. if it seems just like there's a lot, not to shut you up, just if there's a lot of random noise coming from you. Okay, the final exam, really quiz, is only going to count for 10 points to the grade. This will be online and focus on the lighting half of the course. No questions on color. It will be open everything. And like I say, we're about to get the actual date and time, but you will have 2 hours, and it should be complete. It should be very easy for you to complete. Now, assignments. We have 2 assignments left. I'm making significant changes so you can complete them if all you have, as I've mentioned, is a smartphone, some papers, pens, and colored pencils. And we'll get into, whatever you can get your hands on. So the first assignment, I'm changing this out, is I still want you to do the practical analysis of practical applications of lighting. But in this case, we're not visiting anywhere. You're just going to reuse the places that you went to for assignment 2, analysis of practical application of color. You'll have to answer 4 questions about the lighting in these spaces to the best of your ability. You'll see they're very general questions. I've posted this to assignments. You can make it a text document, and I'll set up how you can submit that, or you can incorporate the images you already have. I'd like it in an MS Word format, but whatever you can do, if it's just typing in text and sending it to me. You should be able to access a Office 365 if you have an internet connection and through your student account, and you can access Word and PowerPoint. So I'm hoping you have that. Okay, so we'll go over that assignment fairly shortly, but I just want you to answer the questions as best as you can. Okay, the final project. We're still doing the final project. How can we not? So it's a requirement that we're still doing the cafe or bar, if you chose that or you chose something else. I'm still working on making the assignment requirements manageable so you can complete the requirements with a minimum of fuss. And I'm really sorry we can't be on campus to complete the project using renderings in our material library. But I think we'll still have really good success with this. Okay, so remember the space is relatively small, 30 feet wide and 20 feet deep. And the at 1/4 inch, that means that it's a rectangle 7.5 inches wide by 5 inches deep. So you can just sketch this out on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper with a ruler, even if you don't have your architecture scale at home. Be nice to have an architecture scale. I hope you do. The height to the other side of the ceiling is 15 feet. We'll estimate if you want to punch through the roof. I'm not really recommending it at this point. The roof is going to be 18 inches thick. Okay. I also would recommend, though, for your design that you drop the ceiling. 15 feet is really high. And for more intimate spaces, particularly over the bar or any place you want to make intimate, you probably want to drop that ceiling at least down to 9 or 10 feet, just so you create a feeling of intimacy. So let me see if I can move on to the next page on this. And I'm going to just pause for a second here. Okay, I'm back, and I just had to fiddle a little bit with my settings on my Word document that I'm working from. And I hope I'm looking at the camera a lot. I'm trying. Hello. Anyway, so this is what I'm looking at, and we're going to discuss this, is for your final submission requirements, I'm going to require a floor plan. At least one interior elevation. A second interior elevation would be really nice, but not required. Rendered using color pencil or marker at minimum. But if you can access Photoshop, produce a rendering with it. Those of you who have completed, Presentation Techniques 160, you know how to do this both by hand and digitally. I'll take either. In some cases, and I will do a little demonstration, particularly with colored pencils, because I prefer colored pencils. Because you can blend colors and you can create some more delicate effects. But if you like markers, use markers. I ordered a set of colored pencils from Blick for about 20 bucks. There was shipping charges. I like Derwent, D-E-R-W-E-N-T. But you can pick whatever you like. I find Prismacolors a little too waxy, but that's just me. Kind of, they feel more like crayons than colored pencils. But, you know, a set of, say, 24 colored pencils should probably do the job. And if the color isn't in the colored pencils that you want to have, you can blend your colors to at least approximate it. Okay, we'll talk more about the renderings as we move through the semester. A reflected ceiling plan, and we'll go over a reflected ceiling plan, that will show the symbols of where your lighting fixtures will go. This is just going to show your overall lighting design. And we haven't gone over reflected ceiling plans, but that's typically the document that has the lighting information. I'd like you to include images of the light fixtures you intend to include. And if you, can't print out anything, sketch stuff off the internet or take screenshots with your smartphone of fixtures that you like. This is going to require, for those of you who don't have computers, this is going to require a little bit of improvisation. But, there will be, if you see something you like on the web, you should be able to take a screenshot of it with your smartphone and be able to load that to me. Very important for this is a short written statement of your intent, your concept for using color and the strategy for lighting. What is the feel you want for the space? How does your selection of color and lighting reinforce this? It can be brief, but I want it to be clear and say, I wanted to create this particular mood, this particular feeling, this particular atmosphere. This is the theme for my cafe or bar. Those are the kinds of things. It doesn't have to be elaborate, but I do want you to be very clear about your intentions. What is it that you want to do with color and particularly with lighting? And then we'll work on this a little bit, a concept or inspiration board. I will send you examples that includes light fixtures, colors, and concept images. I'll provide samples. If you do not have computer software access, because you could actually lay this out in PowerPoint in Microsoft Office, you don't have to use Photoshop. You can also do a collage. But like I say, we'll discuss this in Monday's Zoom meeting. So for the final project, this is optional. You're welcome to build a SketchUp model. You can use the free online service, which I find a little frustrating, but you can download an old version. I have to update this. SketchUp 8, I've posted on Canvas. You can actually go to a link I provided, and the key thing is SketchUp Make 2017. You can download that. That's a more up-to-date version. I've gotten in the habit of saving it to the old version, SketchUp 8, for archiving my work. There's nothing lost. And I found, frankly, there have been very few substantive changes in the software over the years. Ever since Google sold it off, the new owners of this Trimble, they haven't done a lot with it. If you do create a SketchUp model, you don't need to submit a floor plan and interior elevation. You may, but you don't have to. And you can see what you can do as far as rendering 3D images if you do have access to a computer. So those are all the things that I wanted to go over. Sorry, I'm just shifting around my chair. I think this is long enough. I like about a 20-minute recording. And I just want to emphasize that we will stay in communication and that our classes will be discussions, that all of the information is going to be in videos and PowerPoints that we are not reviewing during class time, because not everyone can access Zoom or may be able to access Zoom. I will record our Zoom sessions for those of us, for the people who can attend. Please, please, please make Monday meeting on March 30th at 2 o'clock. So we will be seeing, or at least hearing each other on Monday. I really look forward to that. I've probably said this a few times. I really miss you guys. It was great to see so many of you on Wednesday, and I look forward to seeing you as we move ahead. So that's it for now. I also am probably going to be a little bit annoying. Every time, like with this, I'm going to send out an email with the link saying, you know, please check this out. That's all I have to say for now.